So I've been giving you some tidbits about my much needed break. And how things have turned out. I've also talked to you about how speaking up and learning to set boundaries became imperative to my own personal improvement and healing. During the first part of my time off, I really did enjoy it. I played with my cats, I did puzzles, I did pottery. In fact, I made this mug. I slept a lot. It was as though giving myself permission to slow down and take a break meant that I was giving my body permission to crash. I knew things were fuzzy. I knew that I was struggling. I don't think I recognized or knew how cloudy the world had become. I had been pushing to achieve and succeed what everybody needed and everyone had asked me. And adding self-care and awareness I was having to fight to get it in there. I was having to fight to add those little bits that I could get. And even though I was giving myself self-care, even though I was following the same things that I tell you guys to do, I fell. I still fell. I had to own my reality. And in owning my reality, I needed to speak up about my needs. And like I've talked before, speaking up about my needs means that I also have to ask for help. I literally needed to reach out and say, hey, this is what I need so that I can achieve improvement, so that I can find the healing that I personally need for myself. So I asked, I communicated, I set expectations, and I was feeling better very slowly, very gradually. It really took time. It takes time for us to fall and get hurt, and it takes time for us to heal. Just think about that for a second. As long as it takes to create a habit or put ourselves into a nasty situation, it's going to take us time to get out. We have to allow ourselves that, give ourselves that. So as I started to improve, I thought I could take on a little bit. And I thought I can take on a meeting here and a meeting there with work. And yet, as I took on those meetings, I could feel my improvement stagnate. And after it stagnated, it actually started to decline again, very gradually, very slowly. Now, I recognized that I needed to be active here in the business. I intuitively knew that my team needed to know that I was here with them. I wasn't going anywhere. And not only that, they needed to know that I was okay. And my being present meant that I was okay enough to be here, which was a relief to everyone around me. And yet in that same aspect, saying I'm here and present and able to take stuff on meant that I was putting other people's needs before my own again. And my improvement was fragile enough that I started to slide. So as soon as I recognized that, I had to say, nope, I'm not ready for this. I am here. I am with you. I still need a little bit more time for myself. It took me a while to empty my cup. It took me a while to get into that space where I needed time. So it was going to take time to get out. I needed to give that myself. It's like a pulled muscle. It takes a while for your muscles to be upset enough to where it gets pulled. And then you have to give yourself time to heal. And initially, you're really careful, you ice it, you heat it, you do what the doctor tells you to, you start doing physical therapy, and then you feel better. And you go back to your old ways of being, and you pull it again, or you injure it again. And the next thing you know, you're back on square one because you didn't give yourself enough time to heal what needed to be healed. And this is where I was at. It was that pulled muscle. So I had to set new boundaries. I had to set boundaries with myself. I had to set boundaries with my husband. I had to set boundaries with my team, with the people around me. And you know what? What sucked was I was the one that had to be responsible for holding those boundaries up. Nobody else could hold those boundaries for me. In fact, people are willing to ask a little bit more from you as long as you're able or willing to give that. Whether or not you can give that, you're the only one that knows that. So I knew my needs, I knew my abilities, I knew my limits, which meant that I was the one who had to say, you know what, that's just a little bit too far. And as a person who loves to give and help and serve other people, that was really hard for me to say, I want to help you, but that's just a little more than I can do right now. And I thank you for supporting me and loving me. I just can't. So I navigated it. I was constantly checking in. I was constantly looking for where my energy levels were, how my brain was feeling, whether or not I thought I could handle whatever was coming up. I still allowed myself lots of naps. I took time in the pottery studio. I did puzzles with my mom. I just kept doing that. My goal is and has been, is currently, was in the past, to improve just a little bit day by day. And you know how I do that? Little steps. One day at a time. Sometimes it's one moment at a time where I say, you know what? I felt good a minute ago, but I just need a little bit right now. Maybe I need to go make myself some tea, or maybe I need to just go have some quiet time out in the gardens to breathe, because I need that and I recognize that, and I'm checking in with myself. Nobody can check in for me. I have to do it for me. I am so much better. You may be able to see that. You may be able to feel that. I hope that you can. Give yourself that chance if you need to. So my question is, how are you doing? Do you need to set some boundaries? Do you need to take a little bit of time off? How are your little steps going to be where you want to be on your goals, or personally just to be okay? Are there any adjustments that you need to make for you? I hope you're doing well. And if you're not doing well, I hope that you are working towards giving yourself that moment, that peace, that gift of a time to heal.